because they make decisions on behalf of all of us. And it's not simply good enough to say you're going to do something. They're still accountable to us. And even if you think the question is stupid, also as the host of the program, I'm not sitting asking questions for myself. I'm asking questions on behalf of all persons. So you may understand, somebody else listening may not understand. And I'm asking the question for that person who may not understand and needs me in order to allow them to understand. So the question is asked to the guests in order for them to respond. You may think the question is stupid, but somebody else may have need of the answer to it. That's one. The second thing is, as I said before, they are accountable to us. And so policies, and a lot of persons don't understand the policies, and that is why we have a problem, especially when politicians say they're going to do certain things and they're not held accountable to it thereafter. Okay? So we know, if you think about the budget and the national resources as a pie, this is what is before them. Whoever sits to cut up the pie needs to decide, for example, who gets what and when. Although that person is the one cutting it and deciding, he's not doing it by doing us a favor, or we're not members of his household. We're not coming asking for handouts. This is a national thing. We all collectively, as a people, the government is for the people and by the people. And so it's very important from that perspective as well. And so this idea that there is money, somebody asked about if whether or not the government takes the accounts and leave it. No, that is not true. We know that that's not the case. But because the issue of policy is tied to administrations and tied to leaders, one government, one prime minister may set a policy, another one may not agree to it. All right? Unless it is tied to law and they either change the law or do something else. Otherwise, policy is something that a leader can just get up and say, tomorrow morning, this is what I'm going to do. So the question is important. For example, what if you say, for example, you are going to remove the money from education to fund the 11.4 billion that you're no longer going to take from NHT? That is something that is of concern to all of us as citizens, and we want to know. We want to know whether or not we agree should come from education, come from health, or you're going to be borrowing to put it there. Those are legitimate questions that we have as citizens, and that must be asked. So the question is quite legitimate and quite in order to ask. And politicians are obligated in order to tell us, for example, not just pick a figure from the air or pick a project from wherever they dream it up the night before. They must tell us how the program must practically is going to work and what cost is going to come to us as taxpayers, and also for us to make an assessment as to how it's going to affect us and whether or not it's something that we agree with or not, or something that we want at this time or not. All right, so those are all important. That's how I will address that.